Hey, what's up guys, it's Dodge. Welcome to Dodge and Tech. In this video, I'm going to give you a few quick tips that might be able to help you when it comes to your PC performance. And just to make sure you're not wasting your time, in this video I'll be talking about RAM frequencies and locations, as well as graphics card location, and also cooling preferences to make sure your computer is not going to overheat. And lastly, Windows system updates. If you're a new PC gamer, you probably don't know all the tricks of the trade, and that definitely includes RAM. RAM can be a very confusing topic, especially when you're talking about voltages or even just frequencies in general. So once you get all your parts and you're building your gaming computer, there's two specific things that matter when it comes to RAM. The first is going to be your RAM location. Unfortunately, with RAM, you can't just slap it in there and call it a day like a CPU. RAM has specific spots that definitely need to be utilized first before you fill in any of the other slots. Depending on your motherboard manufacturer, some motherboards come with 4 DIMM slots, while others only come with just 2. It's really crucial that you look inside your motherboard's documentation, because inside you're going to find out which DIMM slots are going to be your primary and which are going to be your secondary. In the end, this really depends on your own situation, because if you're a person with 2 sticks of RAM and 2 DIMM slots, it doesn't really matter where you put it. However, if you have 4 DIMM slots, then please go into your documentation and find out where you need to put your RAM. So once you know where to put it, turn on your computer and then go into your BIOS. Now the BIOS is going to be a backdoor essentially to your computer settings. This is going to house a lot of information, especially for your CPU, graphics card, or RAM. If you're a person who bought 3200 megahertz RAM and you turn on your computer, you're going to find out in the BIOS that it might not be running at 3200 megahertz. It depends on the motherboard manufacturer, but if you go on YouTube, you can find out different settings that might work for you, and especially will allow you to overclock your RAM to where it needs to be instead of being that default underclock. Much like RAM, graphics card location actually matters too. For some motherboards, you could have 1 PCI Express slot, or 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4. Depending on your motherboard manufacturer, again, you need to go into the documentation and you're going to find out exactly which slot is going to be faster for you. Some might run at higher megabytes per second, while others will lag behind. If you're one of those people that's looking to buy a budget PC but doesn't know really what parts to get yet, definitely check out my video. It's going to be somewhere on the screen, I hope, and definitely will be in the description. So once you get all your parts and you put them all together, you're probably going to notice something that a lot of people don't mention, especially in their videos, and that's cooling. Most of the time you're going to come with a CPU cooler, or the case is going to come with one cooler in the back, in the rear, and if not, your graphics card is probably going to have 1 or 2 fans. But in the end, that's not a lot of cooling. For the most part, you probably might see in more expensive builds, such as mine, you might get something like an AIO. An AIO is water cooling but also utilizes fans, and I have one on my CPU as well as my graphics card. But of course, if you're on a budget, you don't have the money for that kind of stuff. So how are you going to keep your PC cold? It really all depends on fan placement. You should have a fan that's in the back, and you can honestly go on Amazon and maybe get 3 more for like 10 bucks. I've seen them even go cheaper. And putting those fans in on the top or putting one on the bottom, it really makes a difference. It gets that hot air out from the graphics card and from the CPU and just removes it, allowing your components to really run smoother. If you do have money to spend though, I really suggest getting an AIO. The price of it is gonna be worth it, especially with the performance that you're gonna get out of your CPU or graphics card. For most budget PC builds, you're probably gonna be using a Ryzen CPU, and those come with a Wraith cooler. The Wraith cooler is nice and all, but it's just not going to get you the best cooling performance, especially for the games that you kind of want to play. Having the AIO is going to lower your temperatures and in return will increase your gaming performance. But in the long run, it's going to allow your CPU to last longer. So I've discussed RAM, I've discussed graphics cards, and I've discussed cooling. The last thing is going to be Windows system updates. When you get your new computer, a lot of updates are going to be needed. The first update you should really do first is your motherboard. And for most motherboards, you can find the updates on their manufacturer's website. On their website, you can probably find updates for graphics or audio or even just Ethernet to make sure that you're running at fastest speeds. Another big thing to update is your graphics card. And if you're like me, who uses an NVIDIA graphics card, you're probably going to need to use GeForce Experience. This is going to have all of your updates, and usually will do them automatically, which is pretty nice. Not always, but sometimes you can actually find updates for even storage devices. I know for my Samsung SSD, it actually needed to do it, so make sure you're also checking that. In the end, guys, if you do this for your first PC build, or even builds in the future, you're going to be running your computer perfectly fine and safe. I hope you guys learned something in this video, and if you didn't, please go in the comment section below and list something off that I missed. And in the next quick tips, I can actually tell others in the future of what they are missing as well. If you enjoyed the video, please like, and if you want to watch more content in the future, subscribe. That way it's in your video feed and you can see it instantly. Like I said before, if you're looking for a PC build that's budget and cheap for around $600 to $500, please check out my video. It's going to show you every part that you're going to need in order to get a fast gaming PC for a really low cost. Thank you guys for watching. Take care and stay safe.